All right, so get this. You requested a deep dive into digital detectives. Sounds kind of like a cool video game, right? But it's actually a real business, and it's growing, like rapidly. So we're going to take a look at what these services actually offer, why everybody seems to want to hire these folks right now, and just for kicks, we'll even talk about how you could start one.
It's interesting when most people think about this, it's all about catching a cheating spouse. But
Yeah.
the truth is, what these digital detectives do is way more diverse. I mean, we're talking about things like competitive analysis, fraud detection, cybersecurity, even like navigating the dark web.
Okay, wait, hold on. Before we go down that rabbit hole, let's just like unpack this whole digital detective thing because it's got to be more than just like hacking into stuff, right?
Yeah, you're right. It's really a mix of tech skills plus a ton of research and knowing like the right places to look for information. So like let's say a digital detective is doing competitive analysis. They might dig deep into a company's, whole online presence, like their websites, even public records, maybe even what people are saying on social media. And they use all that to figure out like the company's strengths and weaknesses.
So it's like basically being a detective, but for the internet. I mean, no wonder businesses are like banging down their doors to hire these folks. I know our sources mentioned that with more and more businesses moving online, there's just like way more risk.
Oh, yeah, for sure. That's definitely a big factor. I mean, the FBI's Internet Crime Report showed that in 2021, cybercrime losses were over $6.9 billion. So companies are kind of waking up and realizing that, prevention is really key. And that's where digital detectives come in.
Yeah, that makes total sense. It's got to be worth it for a company to pay someone to spot a potential fraud before it costs them like millions of dollars. Plus, there's the whole competitive intelligence thing.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine knowing what your competition's going to do before they even do it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's gold. It's really become essential for doing business, especially in this, digital age. Because knowing things like your competitor's pricing strategy, how they're marketing themselves, even their weaknesses, that's super powerful stuff. And digital detectives can give you that insight, which gives businesses a real edge.
Okay, so this is obviously a hot field, but let's get down to brass tacks here.
Mm-hmm.
What if someone's listening and they're like, all right, I want to be a digital detective?
Hmm.
Our sources actually lay out like a whole roadmap for starting your own agency.
Yeah, that's right. And that first step is the most important, figuring out what your specialty is going to be. So, like, are you more into the corporate investigation side of things, like diving into fraud, doing background checks, cybersecurity, that kind of stuff? Or are you more interested in, market research, like digging into, industry trends and secrets and stuff like that?
I mean, there's even like a whole niche for online reputation management and crisis response, right? Which with all the like social media craziness out there, seems like it'd be pretty busy.
Oh, yeah, totally. But no matter what area you go into, there are definitely some skills that are like essential across the board. So obviously you got to be tech savvy, but our sources also emphasize knowing the law, like really understanding things like privacy laws and data protection. It's crucial.
Right. So it's not just about knowing how to like hack into stuff. You got to be a responsible digital citizen too.
Exactly. And then there's like the research aspect. And it's not just about being good at Googling things. It's about mastering this thing called OSINT research.
Lucent. Okay, that sounds fancy. What is that exactly?
Basically, it's being able to find that needle in a digital haystack, like being able to analyze stuff that's publicly available, like news articles, social media posts, public databases, all that kind of stuff, and then use all that to get valuable insights, like connecting the dots and, seeing the bigger picture.
Oh, okay. So like a digital Sherlock Holmes, basically.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing these digital detectives have some pretty special tools they use, right? The source mentioned something called Google dorking, which honestly sounds kind of cool.
Yeah, Google dorking is basically using these advanced search operators to uncover stuff that's hidden, things you wouldn't find just by like doing a regular search. It's kind of like being fluent in Google's language, I guess, so you can get the specific results you're looking for.
That's pretty awesome. What other tools do they use?
There's a bunch of them, actually, like specialized search engines and software for different tasks. So, for example, a digital detective might use something called Maltego, and that helps them visualize like the relationships and connections between people, websites, online entities. Like imagine creating this spider web of information to see how everything's connected.
Okay, that is seriously cool.
Hmm.
And I bet they can make some serious bank doing this, right?
Yeah.
Let's talk money.
Well, there are a few different business models they can use. A common one is offering these subscription services. So businesses pay like a monthly fee for ongoing monitoring. And that could involve keeping an eye on their competitors, scanning for fraud attempts, even getting regular cybersecurity checks.
Oh, so it's like having like a digital bodyguard for your business. I can definitely see the appeal of that.
For sure. And then there's what's called the paper report model. And that's more for like specific investigations. So let's say a company suspects an employee of fraud or, they want to do a deep dive on a potential business partner. They'd pay for a detailed report on, what the detective finds.
And how much are we talking, like, for these reports? Give us the juicy details.
It really depends, to be honest, like how complex is the investigation. So for like a simple background check, it might be just a few $100. But
Hmm.
for something more complicated, like involving fraud or cybersecurity, it could be thousands.
Okay, so there's definitely money to be made here. But I'm guessing it's not all easy money, right? Like, what are some of the challenges someone would need to be aware of if they want to become a digital detective?
Well, one of the biggest ones is knowing the legal and ethical boundaries. Like digital detectives have to play by the rules, making sure everything they do is, follows privacy laws and data protection stuff.
Right, so no, like, sneaky hacking or stealing confidential files or anything like that.
Definitely not. It's all about using, legal and ethical ways to get information, even when it's tempting to, take shortcuts.
And I bet accuracy is super important, right? Like, if you get one piece of data wrong, it could have huge consequences.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, imagine giving a company the wrong information and they make a like $1 million decision based on it.
Hmm.
Digital detectives have to be like incredibly meticulous, double checking their sources and using all sorts of, analytical tools to make sure their findings are solid.
Wow, that's a lot of pressure. But it also sounds kind of rewarding.
Uh,
Okay, so we've covered, like, the basics of what digital detectives do, the skills they need, even the ethical considerations. But before we wrap up this part of our deep dive, I want to talk about something we haven't really touched on, startup costs.
Oh, right. Yeah, good point. It's definitely important to understand the financial investment involved if you want to launch your own agency.
So break it down for us, like, what are the main things you need to budget for?
Well, first off, you got to have a professional online presence, right? So
Yeah.
that means a website, branding, all that jazz. Could involve things like logo design, web development, maybe some initial marketing material.
So basically putting your best digital foot forward.
Exactly. And then you're going to need to invest in, software and security tools. So things like specialized search engines, database access, maybe some dark web monitoring software, even data scraping and AI analysis tools, that sort of thing.
So you're basically building, like, a high-tech detective's toolkit. I imagine that could get pretty pricey.
Yeah, it can. And don't forget the legal stuff. You might need like licenses or permits depending on where you are and what services you offer. So that could be more legal fees and compliance costs.
So legal fees, software, website development. It's starting to sound like a pretty significant chunk of change.
It is. And then there's marketing, getting your name out there, attracting clients. You got to think about things like search engine optimization, content marketing, maybe even some paid advertising.
So if you add all that up, give us a ballpark figure here. What are we looking at?
Well, estimates are all over the place, to be honest, depending on how big you want to go. But it's safe to say that starting a digital detective agency could set you back anywhere between $15,000 and $50,000, at least initially.
Okay, that's a pretty wide range,
hmm
but it definitely highlights, like, how important it is to have a solid business plan.
Oh, yeah, for sure. A good business plan will help you figure out, how much it's all going to cost, where the money is going to come from, and, basically make smart decisions about how to launch and run your agency.
All right, so I think we've laid a pretty good foundation here. We've explored what digital detectives do, the skills they need, the challenges they face, even how much it costs to get started.
Yeah, we've just scratched the surface, really, but it's pretty clear that this is, a dynamic and growing field with a ton of potential.
And that's just the beginning of our deep dive. Stay tuned as we explore even more fascinating aspects of this digital detective world.
Welcome back to our deep dive into the world of digital detectives.
So last time we kind of went over the basics of this whole, booming industry, like what these digital detectives actually do, the skills you need, even how much it costs to, get started.
Yeah, and we even got a little peek at some of the tools they use, which are like seriously impressive.
Oh yeah, it's like a digital detective's Swiss Army knife, seriously. But now I kind of want to talk about the the elephant in the room, the ethical side of things.
Yeah.
Let's be real. With great power comes great responsibility, right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, these digital detectives have access to like a ton of information. So it's really important that they use their skills, ethically and legally. I mean, imagine if someone decided to use that power for like personal gain or something.
Oh, yeah, totally. It's like that
Mm.
saying, just because you can doesn't mean you should. So how do these digital detectives make sure they're, staying on the right side of the line?
Well, I think it comes down to having a strong moral compass, and really understanding the law. They got to be constantly asking themselves, like, am I crossing a line here? Am I messing with someone's privacy? It can be a tough call sometimes, for sure.
So it's not just about like having the technical chops, it's about having the integrity to use those skills the right way. And speaking of which, our sources actually mentioned that professional organizations and certifications are becoming like more and more important in this field.
Yeah, definitely. Because those organizations, they help, set clear standards for everyone, and they give guidance on how to like navigate all those tricky ethical situations. They're kind of like the moral compass for the whole industry, I guess.
Okay, so ethics, check. Now let's talk about another game changer in this field.
Yeah.
Artificial intelligence. Our sources say that AI is basically giving digital detectives, like superpowers.
Oh, yeah, that's a good way to put it. Because AI can analyze massive amounts of data, like way faster than any human could. It can go through millions of documents, social media posts, financial records, you name it. And it's looking for those patterns and connections that we might miss.
It's like having a digital bloodhound sniffing out clues. You know, I can see how AI would make investigations way more efficient and probably more accurate too.
Absolutely. It helps reduce, human error and bias, so the findings are more reliable. But, we can't ignore the potential downsides either.
Yeah, there's always a flip side, right?
Yeah.
What are some of the concerns about, using AI in this kind of work?
Well, one big one is the potential for bias in the algorithms themselves. Like, if the data that was used to train the AI is biased, then the AI's conclusions are going to be messed up too. And that could lead to some unfair or inaccurate investigations.
Right. So it's not just about like blindly trusting whatever the AI spits out. Digital detectives still need to, you know, be aware of that and double check everything.
Exactly. And then there's the whole transparency issue. Like, how do we know that the AI is making decisions fairly if we don't, understand how it's coming to those conclusions?
It's like having this black box making decisions that could have like real world consequences.
Yeah, exactly. So there's a lot of work being done right now to develop AI systems that are more transparent and accountable, especially in fields like, digital investigations where fairness and accuracy are like super important.
Okay, so AI, powerful tool, huge potential, but also some ethical stuff to think about. It's a good reminder that technology is only as good as the people using it, right?
Couldn't have said it better myself. And that kind of brings us to another interesting question. What does the future hold for digital detectives?
I'm all ears. What are our sources saying about where this field is headed?
Well, one prediction is that as businesses become even more reliant on technology and data, the demand for digital detective services is going to like explode. It's almost like a guaranteed job.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. Every company, big or small, is vulnerable to like cyber attacks, fraud, reputation damage, all that stuff.
Right, exactly. And the field itself is constantly changing too. There are always new tools, new techniques, new challenges popping up. So digital detectives are going to have to be, adaptable and always learning to stay ahead of the game.
It's definitely a field for people who love a challenge, that's for sure. But here's something that kind of blew my mind. Our sources suggest that this whole digital detective thing might go beyond just the corporate world.
Oh, yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah, like we've been talking about digital detectives working for businesses, but what about like individuals? Could there be a demand for like personal digital detective services?
Yeah. Hmm. I mean, it's definitely possible. When you think about it, everyone has a digital footprint now, right? And with that comes all sorts of risks like identity theft, online harassment, even just, needing to clean up your online reputation.
Exactly. Like imagine being able to hire a digital detective to, I don't know, track down a scammer who stole your money or gather evidence against a cyberbully or something.
Yeah, it's like having your own personal digital guardian angel.
Right. So instead of just protecting businesses, digital detectives could be like empowering individuals to, navigate all the craziness of the online world.
That's a fascinating prediction. It really shows how much our lives are like intertwined with this digital world now.
Okay, so we've talked about the ethical stuff, the AI revolution, even the possibility of personal digital detectives. But before we wrap up this part of our deep dive, I want to circle back to something we kind of touched on earlier.
Huh.
The tools they use.
Yes, the Digital Detectives Toolkit. We talked about Google dorking, but that's just one trick they have up their sleeve.
So let's get geeky here. What are some of the must-have tools for our aspiring digital detectives out there?
Well, one really powerful search engine is Shodan. People call it the Google for hackers because it lets you search for like specific devices that are connected to the internet. So imagine being able to find like webcams, servers, even industrial control systems that are vulnerable to attack.
Oh, that's both really cool and kind of scary at the same time. What would a digital detective use Shodan for, though?
They could use it to, find security holes in a company's systems or
Yeah.
track down where a cyber attack came from. They could even, like, locate physical stuff like servers or security
Well,
cameras.
it's not just about searching websites. It's about understanding the whole connected world and all the vulnerabilities that come with it.
Yeah, exactly. And then there are databases like Whois, which gives you info about, like, domain name registration and who owns a website. So that's really useful for figuring out, where a website came from, if it's a scam, even tracing back, like, a bad email.
So you're basically peeling back the layers of the internet, huh? Seeing who's really pulling the strings. And what about tools for the dark web? That sounds like something out of a spy movie.
Well, it can be a little intimidating, but it's definitely necessary for some investigations. So, digital detectives might use the Tor browser, and that lets you access the dark web anonymously, so they can find like hidden forums, marketplaces, places where criminals hang out and talk.
Whoa, so they're basically going undercover in the digital underworld.
Kinda, yeah, but it's not something to be taken lightly for sure. There
Hmm.
are definitely risks involved, so you got to have the right skills and be careful.
Okay, so we got Shodan, Who's, Tor. We're building quite the arsenal here. Any other essential gadgets in this digital detectives toolkit?
Oh, yeah, there are tons, but one that's becoming more and more important is data scraping and analysis.
Data scraping, that sounds intense. What is that exactly?
Basically, it's about taking data from websites and other online sources. Like, imagine using a digital vacuum cleaner to suck up all this information from the web.
Okay, I
Yeah.
kind of get it. But why would a digital detective need to do that?
Well, let's say they need to analyze pricing trends across hundreds of websites, or track what people are saying about a company on social media, or even find like patterns of fraud in financial data. Trying to do that manually would take like forever.
Right, so these data scraping tools just automate the whole thing so they can gather and analyze all that information way faster. But isn't that kind of legally questionable? Like, can you just scrape data from any website you want?
That's a great question. And it's definitely where things can get, a little tricky. There are definitely legal and ethical things to think about when it comes to data scraping. So digital detectives have to make sure they're following like the website's rules, privacy laws, all that stuff.
So it's not a free-for-all. Got it. There are still rules, even in the wild west of the internet.
Exactly. And then once you have all this data, what do you do with it? That's where data analysis skills come in. Digital detectives have to be able to like make sense of all that information, find the patterns, draw conclusions.
And that's where AI comes back into play, right?
You got it. AI and machine learning are awesome for analyzing these huge data sets, finding hidden trends, making predictions based on the data.
So it's not just about gathering the information; it's about making it useful.
Exactly. And another important tool is social media monitoring software.
Oh yeah, I can see how that would be helpful. Social media is basically a gold mine of information these days.
For sure. These tools let detectives track conversations, find influencers, analyze what people are saying about a particular topic or brand. Like they can see what people are saying about a company, a product, a politician, you name it.
So it's not just about spy on people's personal lives. It's about understanding, public perception, tracking
Hmm.
trends, even finding potential threats or risks.
Absolutely. And there are so many other tools and techniques out there too, like forensic software for analyzing digital evidence, network monitoring tools for tracking online activity. The digital detectives toolkit is always evolving. So anyone who wants to succeed in this field has got to be, adaptable and willing to learn new things all the time.
It sounds like a challenging but incredibly exciting field for sure.
It definitely is. And as we become even more reliant on technology and data, the role of the digital detective is only going to become more and more important. I mean, they're basically safeguarding businesses, individuals, even society as a whole.
Well, we've definitely covered a lot of ground in this part of our deep dives. We've talked about the ethical considerations, the impact of AI, the potential for uh, personal digital detective services, and even gotten a peek into their like super cool toolkit. But there's still more to uncover, right?
Oh, absolutely. In the next part of our deep dive, we'll be exploring the future of this fascinating field.
So stay tuned because it's about to get even more intriguing. Welcome back for the final part of our deep dive into the world of digital detectives.
We've really explored a lot, haven't we? From the skills you need and the ethical stuff to the incredible things AI can do.
Yeah, we even went into the dark web, like full-on spy movie style.
It's been a wild ride.
It really has. But before we wrap up this whole deep dive, I kind of want to shift gears for a second.
Okay, go for it.
We've been talking a lot about how digital detectives can, protect businesses and people from harm. But what if they could use their skills for something even bigger, like to do good on a larger scale?
Hmm, that's an interesting idea. What are you thinking?
Well, what if digital detectives could be like uncovering the truth, exposing bad guys, holding powerful people accountable? Like imagine them working as, I don't know, digital whistleblowers or
Yep.
investigative journalists,
Yeah.
using their skills to shine a light on like corruption, fraud, even human rights abuses.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. It's like taking the whole digital detective thing and applying it to like societal issues.
Exactly. I mean, they're already really good at finding information, connecting the dots, building a case. So what if they could use that to uncover evidence of, I don't know, environmental crimes, financial shenanigans, even government cover-ups?
It would be like having this army of digital truth seekers out there.
It's kind of inspiring, isn't it? Like the role of a digital detective could be way bigger than just protecting clients.
Hmm.
They could be like champions of transparency, fighting for justice in this digital age.
And with all the data that's out there now, the possibilities for, you know, uncovering wrongdoing are huge.
It's almost like the whole digital world is this massive crime scene, and digital detectives are the only ones who can, like, solve the mysteries.
I like that analogy. It really shows how important their role is.
So, as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave our listeners with this thought. Digital detectives could be agents of change, using their skills to make the world a more just and transparent place.
It's a great point. Technology, when it's used the right way, can be a powerful force for good.
And who knows, maybe someone listening right now will be inspired to, join the ranks.
I hope so. It's a tough job, but it's incredibly rewarding. The world needs more skilled and ethical digital detectives.
So until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and hey, maybe even consider becoming a digital detective yourself.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. It's been fun exploring this world with you.
And remember, in the digital age, the truth is out there, waiting to be discovered.